Hey guys, what's up? IrishEmerald here, and welcome back to another Meet the Coach interview. Today we have the coach of the Northwich Castle Zoroarks, and that is no other than Jordan. So Jordan, please say hello to everybody.
Hello, everyone.
So Jordan, I believe, is a new coach in the league this season. So I'm really interested to hear her take on the league, what her background with the Pokemon, and all that good stuff. So we can actually get to know her a little bit better. But Jordan, before we actually get into Pokemon, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, like where you're from and anything,
Well,
anything.
yeah. Well, I'm from Well, I was actually born in Manchester, and I moved. So I'm living with my dad. I'm 18 years old, and I absolutely adore Pokemon. Uh,
That's pretty solid. That's pretty solid. We won't go into the ins and outs of Manchester anyways because I don't want to be drawing Manchester United, Manchester City fans into the
oh
video.
no, I am definitely not a football fan.
We won't bring that into it at all. So why don't we get into what we're all here today to talk about, and that's Pokemon. So why don't you Jordan, you tell us how long have you been playing Pokemon and what got you into Pokemon?
Well, I have been playing Pokemon ever since I was 5 years old. My uncle Michael, who was my uncle anyway, he was a big Pokemon fanatic. And when I started watching one of the episodes do with Misty, Brock, and Ash going to see Lugia, so it was one of the Pokemon movies,
Oh
and
yeah,
I brought myself, it just brought me to love the Pokemon community
yeah.
and the whole idea of the games and stuff like that. My uncle used to keep showing me a lot of the Pokemon TGC cards,
Mhm.
and it was amazing because I wanted to learn how to play the card game, and I also wanted to learn how to play the video games, as well as wind my parents up by playing Pokemon all the time,
Yeah.
or watching Pokemon all the time, or singing it everywhere I go.
So it seems like you had a love for Pokemon from the moment you saw it.
Yes, I
You just
have.
you instantly fell in love. Um, so what was the first game you played? Like not the TCG, but the first video game. What was the first one
The
you played?
first video game I played was Platinum. I was about 9 at the time, so I had a DS Lite, and I was begging one of the people that looked after me to get me the game.
Mhm.
And I think as soon as I ended up getting my netbook, I had a look at the older games such as Red, Blue, and Crystal, which
Yeah.
was quite fun to randomly play around
Yeah. Yeah.
and figure out how difficult the older games were, especially when you had limited items during Red, Blue, and Yellow.
Mm. Mhm. And it's a different mechanic as well to Platinum.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, because it was there was Game Boys and Game Boy Colors. Um, I also wanted to There's only a few games that I haven't played from Pokemon, which is on the GameCube, Pokemon Coliseum and Pokemon XD, and I really want to play them both.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I've seen them in play, but I've never been able to sit down and play it myself either. So it's definitely on the to-do list for me, anyways. So have you on the Game Boy and the DS, have you played through all the different generations of Pokemon, or did you skip one?
I think I skipped about Regeneration 1 and 2, but I have done parts of the old games.
Yeah.
Uh, it's just that at the time I didn't have enough time to play it.
Mm, mm.
But I was too busy either on Platinum trying to catch every single Pokemon or making my Chimchar become into an Infernape. And
Ah.
the daily struggles of going into the Elite Four and trying to get rid of the first Elite person in the game was so annoying.
Ah, yeah, yeah. I know the pain. I know the pain
And
exactly.
then it's like when you get to the third person who use ground types, and you're like, geez, I can't do this because she knocks you out with an earthquake if you haven't got any Pokemon that's so effective against it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, it's painful. It's painful. Absolutely painful. It's where Torterra. You're thinking back when you started. And you said I should have really picked Turtwig for that Elite Four, shouldn't I? But
Yes. But then again, you still have the struggles if you're going with Turtwig
yeah.
and get it into Torterra. You're going to have the daily struggles of the Elite Four.
Yeah,
first gym person, whoever.
yeah, no,
And he
yeah,
uses bug types. And at that point, I think it was Drapion who was a bug type at that time, but he was dark and poison.
yeah,
I didn't see the realization on how it's so super effective when a fire type just attacks it, whereas the fire types aren't effective to it now.
yeah. Right. Okay, so it seems like you played a lot of Pokemon competitively. How long have you been playing Pokemon for?
Competitively, it's only been a year actually. When I started playing competitively, I went to my first Pokemon convention to do with the tournament league of, I think it was the National Pokemon Tournament League of 2015.
Wow, all
Um,
right.
yeah, it was unfortunate that I only ended up going on the second day because I had a bit of a problem, and so I decided to play the competitively on the activities that was on the second day,
Yeah.
where you play with a partner. So it's like it's yeah 2v2.
All right.
Yeah, and
Sweet.
when I went up against with my favorite brand of Pokemon band, and my whole team gotten wiped out.
Hmm.
So I was like, well, I've done something wrong.
Yeah, yeah,
And I think I should start figuring out what I've done wrong. And then when I found out if that Pokemon needed EV training and IVs and need to be bred to a specific uh, build
yeah,
with the nature to go with it, I figured out, well, this is going to help me in a way, and hopefully I'll have a lot more fun doing competitive battling, and which I have been.
yeah. Wow, I never knew they had that sort of thing down in Pokemon conventions like that. I thought it was just the championship battles. I've never seen it, I've never heard of it, I've never been to one myself. So it's awesome hearing that. Like, yeah, it's
I
pretty sweet.
I have the Pachirisu, which was one of the champions Pokemon who won the year before.
Yeah, the VGC. Yeah,
Yeah,
that was a crazy year. That Pachirisu was so popular.
that Pachirisu was popular. Yes, it
Hmm.
definitely
It
was.
definitely was. So let's talk about the league, right? The league. So you have a year in competitive battling. But how much experience since you've picked up competitive battling have you got in the league format?
In this league format, I have no clue. Really, I'm just learning bit by bit as I go along.
Right.
I know parts of the weaknesses of a few Pokemon, and I know that team building is really specific
Hmm.
in this. But you've got to figure out with the whole set of my Pokemon, you've got to figure out the actual threat to your team with the person who you're going up against.
Hmm.
So you either try and build a team around a certain Pokemon that can get rid of it, or you build it around your Mega, which is another like really good Pokemon to use.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So you're coming in pretty much a rookie into this format. Tough ask. It's going to be a tough ask, but let's see how you're gonna climb this mountain now with the team you've drafted. So for you guys watching at home, Jordan's team is as she selected from left to right, top to bottom, and she drafted as a trademark her Zoroark. Her Mega is Mega Houndoom. She drafted Gliscor, Azumarill, Doublade, Nidoking, Trevenant, Sharpedo, Malamar, Frostlass, Luxray, and Altaria. So, why don't you talk us through your draft, Jordan? Tell us what you were thinking going into the draft, what you wanted, and how your draft evolved over the course of the whole procedure as well.
Well, at first, I never wanted anyone to go straight for Zoroark. It's the fastest Pokemon I know that doesn't need a Mega, apart from Mega Salamence, which we won't be using. Now, Zoroark is something that's really intriguing for me. With its illusion ability, you can disguise it as any Pokemon whatsoever to think that your opponent thinks it's another Pokemon, which they think, oh, well, this is easy, and I think I'll be able to send my strongest Pokemon against it. Whereas you've got Zoroark, who's a very good counter to most Pokemon, especially when it uses Flamethrower. So if anyone tries to come at you with a grass type, and your disguise is like, say, Azumarill, and they try to come up with you as a grass type, Zoroark can easily destroy them in a few hits with Flamethrower. And Nasty Plot or Swords Dance seems to be quite interesting with Zoroark as well. Nasty Plot raises so much is it special attack?
Special attack, yeah.
Yeah, it's special attack, which makes it more powerful if it uses Dark Pulse or its favourite or signature move, Night Days.
Yep, yep,
Right.
absolutely, absolutely. It also gets Sludge Bomb now.
Yes, it can
Yeah,
actually.
yeah, it is, and it's got good offensive stats across the board. To be fair to it, it's got 105 base attack, 105 base speed. You know, it's fast. It breaks that 100 speed tier, which is always nice, and it's got that 120 special attack
It's
base.
one of my favourite moves that I decide to use on Zoroark, which is quite very good for it, is Focus Blast. It's it's a good wall breaker for some
It's
things.
it's it's just her. Its accuracy is horrendous though. I just hate it with the
The
accuracy.
accuracy is really horrible.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
So
you try and use like an item that raises accuracy, which I don't prefer to doing that. It's either Life Orb or it's Scope Lens. Critical hits, more chance.
all right,
Uh, Life Orb.
awesome. Awesome. So why don't you tell us about the rest of your team? Because I have a sneaky suspicion Zoroark's your favorite Pokemon. So let's push on ahead and let's actually talk about the rest of your team and about what you drafted and tell
Yeah.
us what you were thinking.
Mega Houndoom. I know a lot of people have been saying Mega Houndoom hasn't got that much of a chance with most Pokemon that are to do with Megas, you see, like Mega Gyarados, and it has its unfair advantages. But if you put it this way, Mega Houndoom has a really good special attack, and if used well, put it in Sun, and its Fire Blast can be simply upgraded to become more powerful. And I want to bring out Houndoom's uh, hidden special abilities to it, because there is not a lot of likes for Houndoom, though it's one of my favourite fire type Pokemon. So, seeing enough that I had a bad draft with it, I simply said, well, if I can't go for Gardevoir, then I'll go straight for Houndoom, because Houndoom is a really good Pokemon as such. Now, Azumarill is a great wall for me, especially if you can use Aqua Jet, which can easily get rid of Pokemon that are faster than you if it's weak to it, or they've got a small bit of health and they're still slightly fast. And I do like its play rough. Belly Drum set is not really keen for me. I
Yeah,
know people say it's more effective with Belly Drum and holding a Citrus Berry, but I've always thought that using an Assault Vest
yeah,
with using Waterfall would be quite well for its
yeah.
less defensive. You know, if it's got like any super effective moves of your opponent, it can easily just cut that in half with the Assault Vest.
Yep, yep, yep.
Uh, Gliscor seems to be quite interesting too. I like how it has the Roost and it's got the Poison Heal if you gave it a Toxic Orb. Its ability is amazing to use it with Toxic Orb. Um, I also like the fact it has many different usages in the game. It could be easily Staller if you wanted it to be,
Yeah,
or you could make it as an offensive Pokemon. But
yeah.
I presume that it's best off with Gliscor becoming the sort of offensive wall breaker. Though
All right.
also I like him to be in the mix with a defensive Pokemon at the same time.
All right, so you've a couple of ideas in mind for the glide score, anyways. It's going to be interesting to see what you bring over the course of the season.
Now I think I've gone too much with the fact that I have a fighting type weakness right now, or a ground type weakness, but Gliscor can easily use Levitate to get rid of that.
Fly score, the flying type. It's the flying type that gets rid of it.
Yeah, it's a flying type that gets rid of it.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No problems, no problem.
Yeah,
Um,
I wanted to try and have a Pokemon that can easily get rid of the fighting type weakness, and Dual Blade and Trevenant seem to be quite a good pick. Now, Harvest Trevenant is probably one of the worst Pokemon that you can come across if you don't know how to fight it properly.
yeah.
Because with Harvest and Refresh, I think a lot of people decide to use Refresh with it. It seems to be quite a nice combo with a few other pokes, such as, like, say, Azumarill. Azumarill can easily try and get rid of any Pokemon that's super effective to Trevenant, such as Fire types, or any Dark types.
Yeah.
Azumarill is quite nice to use, play rough against the fighting types,
Yeah.
and Waterfall and Aqua Jet against the fighting types. Dual Blade was quite interesting. The Eviolite set is quite an interesting one. Or I think no one else probably uses another item with it.
You
I'm
know,
just too.
it's normally the Evo, like, it was Mega Mogwai. Mate was won his first won his GBA championship a while ago, actually, with the dual blade. He won with a Swords Dance dual blade.
Not bad. I wanted to try and, well, basically try and make a good point with Dual Blade. I know I'm not that good with talking about Pokemon though.
No, I know the dual blade's a good pick. Like, it's won championships, so it's hard. You can't knock the dual blade pick. It's won championships. If anyone's got a problem with it, you can say it's an Evo loser, it's weak to dark, whatever. It's won championships. So if you're not ready for it, you're going to get swept. You're going to get swept, and that's the end of it.
True, like, because it can be quite a considerable threat if you know how to use it right. Nidoking was quite interesting for me. A poison type would seem to be quite interesting to get rid of the fairy types that seem to have threatened my dark type Pokemons as well.
Hmm.
So I'm considering each weakness to my Pokemon. Malamar has a weakness to bugs, so that can be easily countered by Mega Houndoom's fire type or Zoroarks Flamethrower.
Yeah.
Sharpedo is quite interesting too. I like the fact that Sharpedo's Mega is quite effective to a lot of
Hmm.
people, but I prefer that Sharpedo doesn't have that much love anymore.
Hmm.
So with Sharpedo, you can easily have its speed boost ability, which you can protect yourself and
Yep.
with protect, and then you've also got the what the good moves is like Thunder Fang, Ice Fang, Crunch. It seems to be quite a lot of people use it for the Mega. But if you put it this way, Sharpedo also has other moves that need to be used
Hmm.
that can become quite effective during a play out.
Yeah, absolutely. Shady this season in GBA was used it quite effectively. He actually showed it was definitely worthwhile picking up in a draft format. So it'll be interesting to see if it can pick up as many kills as it did for Shady for you this season.
Yeah. Right. I love Malamar. Right. Malamar seems to be quite interesting for me, even though I'm going to talk about it again. I love his contrary superpower combo.
Yep.
The fact is that any move that drops his stats go up, and he becomes more and more powerful if you don't if your opponent doesn't know how to deal with it properly.
Yep.
And also can become a very considerable threat during the game because some people that I've seen can actually sweep with a Malamar, and I've never seen people do it before. But I've seen videos that have done it, but I've never seen anyone who I've known to sweep
do
with
it.
a Malamar.
Yeah.
Yeah. Frostlass was quite an interesting pick also. I love its. Is it Snowcloak that it gets, or is it something that boosts its ability that boosts its evasion during when it hails?
That's Snowcloak.
Yeah, that's Snowcloak.
Yeah.
And it may not have that much power to do its attacks.
it's a decent special attacker now. It's got good speed. I wouldn't I wouldn't like to take an ice beam from it, like, you know.
No, no, no one wants to take an ice beam proof Frostlass that's been boosted up with the evasion and you're in hail at the same time with a Pokemon that can't defend itself against hail at all
Hmm.
or any effective weather.
Yep.
Um, I also do like its ghost typing, so it can easily get rid of the psychic types or any threat to other Pokemon.
Hmm.
I've got like 3 ghost types and I've got like 3 dark types already.
Yeah.
Um,
Why don't
now,
we move on to the Luxray and the Altaria picks?
yeah,
The
uh,
last two mons in your team. Why did you pick them? And is there any thought behind it, or was it just you reckon you needed them to patch up the rest of your team?
well, I wanted Luxray because I don't see a lot of people using Luxray. There's not a lot of love for it because its base speed isn't that fast compared to a lot of other Pokemon that's around there. And I want to put Luxray in my team so I can make other team opponents fear the actual power that comes from a Luxray. With its guts, it's so interesting if it has a flame orb. It just ignores the attack speed or there's rivalry that doesn't seem to be quite the most interesting ability on Luxray because of the gender differences.
Yeah.
But Intimidate seems to be quite interesting because you can easily switch it out and bring it back into lower, very strong attack Pokemon that's based on attack.
Yeah.
Or you can use the move Fake Aid with its guts, which causes a lot of damage.
Hmm.
Altaria, I can say this, I'm not really that keen on Altaria, but I
Yeah.
thought it'd be quite interesting to try and patch up with a few different Pokemon. To patch up with my Pokemon that's around. Because I know I have some strong weaknesses around my team, and I thought Altaria, with with its Dragon typing and its flying. Is it flying?
Flying. Yep.
Yeah, it's flying. Because I keep getting mixed up between the Mega Fluffy Bird, which I always call Altaria Fluffy Bird because it's just expanded with poofiness.
Yeah.
He's just like, beware of the fluff.
Beware the fluff. Oh my god. Brilliant. Brilliant.
Yeah. Altaria needs to be shown that it has strong points. It doesn't need to Mega Evolve just to bring its Fairy type out. Whereas you can think of that it can get rid of a few bits and bobs. Say you Dragon type and you're against another Dragon type, you can easily get rid of that with any Dragon move.
Hmm.
I think Dragon Pulse is quite used on it as well.
Yep.
Um, though it could easily use Air Slash, which causes more crits each time you try and use it. Or there's certain other moves. You see, I'm not really that keen. I don't know very
Yeah.
well on Altaria. But
There's a lot. There's a lot it can do. It can. Excuse me. It can heal bell. So it can act as a cleric. It can. It can cotton guard, so that it'll get +3 defense. It's got Dragon Pulse, as you said. It's got Dragon Dance if you want to set up and potentially sweep it later on. It's got a couple a couple of nice things to it. It'd be very interesting to see how you use the regular form of it outside the Mega variant.
is anyone? I don't think anyone's actually using Mega Bird, is it? Mega
No,
Fluffy
no,
Bird.
no. Mega Fluffy Bird was undrafted, surprisingly. So
I can't believe Mega Fluffy Bird was undrafted.
you're not the only one. You're not the only
Yeah.
one. You're not the only one. So you reckon the Altaria is probably the one Pokemon during the season, if you're not keen on it, you're going to trade it off for something.
I might trade it off for something. That's all I'm keen.
Alright. That's the one you're not keen on.
Not really too keen on
Yeah.
it now.
Alright. And um was there any times you got sniped other than, well, like, I believe you got sniped from Mega Gardevoir from the Geodude.
Yes, I got sniped from Mega Gardevoir,
Yeah.
and I've got sniped again for wanting to get Gardevoir without its mega.
So you were just you wanted Gardevoir full come like hell or high water. You wanted Gardevoir, and you just got sniped twice right underneath of
Yeah.
you. Wow.
I was so upset when I found out that they both had been sniped. Well, when it's both been sniped off me,
Yeah.
I was not really happy because I know how to bring out Gardevoir for its true potential. With my competitive battling, I always used Mega Gardevoir as my Mega.
Hmm.
It may seem to be quite annoying with the hyper voice when it gets pixelate through Mega Evolution,
Yeah.
but if you Mega well, with its hyper voice, it's got a base damage of, is it about 120, 170, something like that?
It's not. I think it's around 120 because
Yeah,
it gets 30% boost with Pixelate and it's 90 base power, so I believe it is 120.
yes. And I also wanted to try and use Psyshock, because Psyshock seems to be quite interesting to get rid of the poison types away from
Yep.
Mega Gardevoir,
Hmm.
and poison doesn't really do nice against fairy types.
Yeah. Yeah. Fairies don't really like the poison.
I also got sniped for Klefki, the keys of them all. It's so scary
Yeah.
when you start
Yeah.
getting sweet from a little tiny key chain with
Oh.
just dangling keys. It's
Hmm.
like, beware of the keys. The fairy types have
Oh.
started to become really, really nasty now
Yeah.
that it's been introduced in Generation 7. No, Generation 6,
Six,
isn't it?
Generation 6, yeah. So
Yeah.
you just any fairy you wanted was like, but at the start it was just not happening for you. It was just going,
Not happening either.
not
It's the
happening.
same with Jalagaj. Yeah,
Oh,
Jalagaj, yeah.
Dragalge, yeah,
I love Jalagaj.
yeah,
I keep calling it Jalagaj because it seems to be quite interesting
yeah.
the way I say it. But I love its toxic setup. If it has a toxic spike setup, it can easily
Mm,
get rid of Pokemon that seem to be a big wall, and it's none of your Pokemon can overpower it if it has like recovery or any like synthesis, recovery, any healing type moves, which completely winds up a few of my Pokemon.
mhm.
Whereas I like my wall breakers because Azumarill can be a wall breaker and so can Zoroark be a wall breaker. Um, so I've just managed to place them in because there's a few other opponents' team that seem to be quite the walls.
Right, awesome, awesome. So we got into a great lot of depth into your team, anyways. So why don't we move on? Because I think everybody now kind of understands where you're coming from
Yeah.
in your draft. So why don't we move on to your expectations for this season and who your schedule, and who you're facing. Is there anyone in the schedule that you're not keen on battling, or any of these drafts actually that you're just not keen on battling?
That was easy. Not the Arcanine, Seb's group. I can't deal with Seb's group. I
Seb
know.
team, the Kyogres.
Yes,
Yeah.
it seems to be quite a big threat to me.
Hmm.
With Mega Caesar being around, most of my Pokemon can't deal with it properly if it sets up. Mega
Hmm.
Houndoom might do some damage to it, but with it set up, it's sort of very scary.
Yeah.
And there's a few Pokemon other people have drafted that I'm not really happy to go against, which is Hooper Unbound as well, because its attacks, special attack or attack stat is really high.
Yeah.
I'm surprised it's actually been moved to Ubers now.
Unbound, yeah, but yeah, it just got verified there just before we did the recording.
Yes, it
Yeah.
has.
So bye Hoop Unbound. Bye bye. Good luck. Enjoy Ubers. Um, is there anyone you feel kind of confident going up against?
Well, it's a shame that I can't be going up against Jacob this season. I wanted to so destroy him with my team.
Oh, Jake, coach of the Gudras. Oh, that could have been a really interesting match. That could have been a really interesting match. But
Yeah,
you never
poor
know.
guy that got sniped up his Gudra.
Yeah. What was it? The Cacturn sniped his Gudra. He was. I remember on the interview with him. He was none too pleased. He was none too pleased, to say the least.
No,
Um,
I told him he should have
yeah,
trademarked it well. So
yeah,
done.
yeah. It was something I definitely asked him in the interview. He was. No, he was a little bit sketchy. He thought he could have gotten it, but it was sniped right from underneath him.
No. If
Yeah.
you saw it from the background, he was livid that he didn't get it.
It's the beauty of the league format, though. To be fair. So,
Yeah.
what are your expectations going for this season? Are you looking at playoffs, or are you just looking to make a good impact in your first season and slowly build your way up, or do you see yourself going all the way to the championship and taking the trophy home this season?
No, I want to try my best. I want to have a bit of fun, but I also want to show that I'm not some pushover that has had a very bad drafting, but can easily pick out some good Pokemon. I just want to make sure that everyone else can have fun, even if we do have a bit of clashes
Yeah.
with each other team. I might get annoyed though.
It happens. It happens. It's not competitive if people don't get annoyed, All right, awesome,
Yeah,
awesome. So hopefully you do well. I'm really rooting for you. But so we're kind of near the end of the interview, and as I normally do, I always ask a few Pokemon related quick fire questions. So, Jordan, if you just um answer the first thing that pops into mind when I ask you, um, that's all it is to it. It's not personal. It's not too serious. It's just a bit of fun. Yeah, you ready for it?
yeah, sure.
All right.
Yes, I
So
am.
first
It's like
question.
bring it on.
Bring it on. So first question. Red or blue?
Blue,
Kyogre or Groudon?
Kyogre,
X and Y or Oris?
X and Y,
Turtwig, Piplup or Chimchar?
Chimchar, definitely.
And last but not least, your favorite Pokemon competitive tier?
Wow, that's difficult actually. There's so many different Pokemon that I actually like. I'm gonna go with OU. It's quite interesting, OU.
OU? OU.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right, cool. Brilliant. So that wraps up the interview for today, folks. I want to thank Jordan for taking the time out of our schedule to sit down and talk to me for the half an hour.
Yes. Thank you.
No problem. If you guys like today's video, please click that like button down below. If you have any questions for Jordan, please comment down below. And if you have any thoughts or feelings on the video, please let us know as well. We love hearing all your feedback. And if you want to see more NPBA videos coming your way, please smash that subscribe button down below for us. We've lots coming for you on your way this season. Again, my thanks to Jordan for being interviewed with me today. And on that note, you guys, we'll see you next time.
Bye.